last night something historic happened. The Clippers rallied from a 31-point second-half deficit against
Chris, you've been watching
the number
basketball
one
for a
team
long
in
time.
the league.
You ain't never seen that.
That was incredible. I was watching that game, and obviously it was a blowout early. And I'm just watching it, and I'm thinking in my mind, like, man, Golden State they came to play. Like, they're serious about not just that game, but, like, they're serious. They saw what Houston did to Utah, and they're like, sending a message as well. And then, of course, the comeback begins. And it began when Steph Curry went out early, like 8 minutes left, roughly, in the third quarter. They're up 28. And then the Clippers outscoring by 14 the rest of the quarter. And Lou Williams got going, sixth man of the year to be. Was the sixth man of the year last year as well. And they were in a rhythm, and they couldn't be stopped. And Golden State was out of rhythm, and they never could get it back. Kevin Durant fouled out. But check this out, Rob. He had 0 fouls at halftime. So he had 4 fouls in the second half. I believe 3 of those 4 were offensive. I believe 4 of his 6 were offensive. And we talked with Antonio Daniels about how Patrick Beverley was bothering him. But another part of the story, of course, is that DeMarcus Boogie Cousins, who had been starting at center for the Warriors this year, he tore his quad, non-contact injury.
What a shame. He was dribbling, right? Going after the ball, dribbling.
He was going after, he was kind of trying to get control
of the ball. And he's going off, but there's nobody around him.
Nope.
If you see the video, nobody.
Yeah, just non-contact, and he's going to be out roughly 8 months. That's Tony Parker had a similar injury, and that's how long he was out. And so that's a big loss in some people's mind. Antonio thought it was a big loss. I got to be honest. Look, I feel for Boogie. I think emotionally the Warriors will feel it. And, like everybody, they're pulling for him. He's a fellow teammate and all-star caliber player. The Achilles kept him from getting paid last summer. This quad will keep him from getting big money this summer. So you wonder if he's ever going to get it. And so I'm sure emotionally it'll be a drain on them for a small amount of time. But I don't think it's going to hurt them very much on the court.
No. I don't either. I agree. I think they were going to win another way, but they've already won twice. And They got enough firepower. That's not to
3 times.
Right, but I'm saying
twice with Durant.
With Durant. But I'm saying I'm not poo-pooing him or acting like he doesn't matter.
Right.
But I'm just saying that team.
They were so loaded.
They were loaded. It was overloaded. Probably.
Right. Well, and that's a good point because we all know of his defensive liabilities. And to his credit, he was playing pretty good defense, probably the best defense of his career, and had a great attitude, and everything was just bought in and was playing really well. But Kevon Looney, who's his backup, is a better defender. And they're probably going to be better on that end of the floor with Boogie on the bench. And then offensively, Rob, I thought lately they had been going through Boogie a little too much. Now, we know he's a great offensive player.
Right.
But going through him takes away from your other 3 scores, Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant. So I think they're going to be fine. Heck, he got hurt 4 minutes into the game, and they went on to take a 31-point lead. So I don't think they'll miss him much, and I still think they're the favorites, but they're not looking nearly as good thus far as the Houston Rockets in the playoffs.
Yeah, not so far because of that. You can't give up a 31-point lead at home. I mean, that's just
at home.
But I'm going to give some credit to the Clippers. We've seen them this year, Chris. And you remember that one game I always bring up to you was when they were down 28 in Boston. This was right after they traded Tobias Harris.
Right.
And that just showed me something about them that they, you know what I mean? Because at that time, most people thought they were tanking, right? That was it.
Because they making the playoffs, they lost their first-round pick.
Right. But there's something about it. Doc Rivers has done some job. They don't give up. They had 29 points off of turnovers. Lou Williams is, I don't know who could trade that guy.
Magic did.
Magic traded him.
Magic Johnson.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, he is a stud.
No, he's tremendous. He's going to be the sixth man of the year again for the second time, is it?
Did you see the shot he made? He's a fall away I mean, that was the one to tie it, and then they got the 3 to go ahead.
He's instant offense. There's no question about it. An interesting trend, Rob, developing. Let's start it off talking about this way. Patrick Beverley, 6'1", is guarding Kevin Durant, who's essentially a 7-footer, and doing a heck of a job. Now, we had Antonio Daniels on last hour. He made a great point that referees let smaller guys get away with stuff on bigger guys that they wouldn't let a typical small forward or power forward get away with against Kevin Durant. And that's true because Beverly's freaking holding Durant during dead balls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that is true, but Beverly is in Durant unlike anybody I've ever seen, and he's getting up under him, so it's harder for Durant to dribble and pull up, which is a lot of what he likes to do. He's denying him the ball at times. They're doubling him at times and getting the ball out of Durant's hands. That's where a lot of the turnovers, he had 9 last night, came from. And I think Patrick Beverly's guarding him better. I know it's only 2 games, but I can't remember somebody locking up Kevin Durant this way.
I love Beverly. You remember going back, we know he's a tough player. Right. He's been through a lot to make it, so he doesn't take anything for granted. Right. He wasn't the guy first picked. He was always last picked, not picked.
Played in Russia.
Yeah, so he's like, dude, I'm all of my energy. You remember when Lonzo Ball's first game, and he D'd him up from the inbounds. You remember? I mean, and he was like, nobody's doing that. Right. No, in the NBA, nobody.
And he did it because of LeVar.
He just said like, okay, what?
It was like Lonzo daddy had to pay for the sins of his father.
I mean, but I just love that about him. That I don't care who you are, what the situation is.
He's the type of guy you hate to play against, but you love it when he's on your team. And here's what I wanted to get to, Rob, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know how to explain it. But we talked about Kevin Durant and how Beverly's guarding him. Durant is actually shooting very well from the field in this series. He's averaging 22 points, which is good, but we expect more from Kevin Durant. He's shooting 54% from the floor. He's just not taking a lot of shots. He's averaging like 12 shots a game in this series. Last night he took 8 shots. He's shooting 56% from the floor actually in this series.
Wow.
But the thing is, this is not just during this series. The last 17 games, basically the last month and a half of the regular season, okay, last 17 regular season games, for all of March and all of half of April, which was the regular season, Kevin Durant has averaged 20 points on 13 shots a game. And for the season, he averaged 26 points on 17 shots a game. So he's shooting the ball less over the last month and a half. I don't know. I mentioned Boogie, them running through Boogie a little more. I don't think that's what the issue is. I don't know how to explain it. Like, this is, Kevin Durant is, for all the other things he does well, rebound, pass, defend, he's a scorer. And for him only to be shooting 13 shots a game is strange.
Sounds very low.
Yeah, and 20 points a game. For him to average 20 points a game. He hasn't averaged that low since probably his rookie year. So, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, Game 1 didn't seem to be a problem, even though he didn't shoot that much. I'm just saying for them.
He was 8 for 16.
Right.
But
that's more like it, right?
Right,
16 shots, right. I'm saying.
Right, and the problem in that game was he just got ejected. The problem in that game was he got ejected.
But I'll tell you this. Yesterday was a horrible loss, the one that goes down in history in the NBA record books, right?
Right.
It was that bad. But I'm not here sounding the alarm. Oh, my God, it's all over. They're not going to win. Boogie got hurt as well. I still fully expect, Chris, that they will win the NBA championship for a 3rd year in a row. It ain't no cakewalk.
Right. It ain't going to be a cakewalk.
It ain't no cakewalk.
Sound the alarm.
That's right. Normally, I'm the first guy to pull the plug, or pull the alarm.
Right. I mean, you sounded on Patrick Mahomes not going to be the MVP. The Patriots
We don't have
aren't
time
gonna
for
win
all
the
this, Chris.
championship.
We don't have time for all this.
No, I'm just giving,
No,
some
what do you mean?
Tom Brady could do that.
Tom Brady could do that.
No, Tom can't. And I'll tell you. But in this case, Chris, are you panicking? Are you one of the guys ready to panic?
I'm not panicking, and I'm like you. I'm not going to sound the alarm, but I will say this. The Warriors are more vulnerable than they have been since Kevin Durant got there. And, I mean, they ended up losing it in 2016. They look more – we didn't know they were vulnerable at that time, right? They won 73 games. We thought they were going to win the championship. But they look more vulnerable than that right now. Like, is it out of the realm of possibility that Houston could beat them? No. Like, now, if they started that series tomorrow, and when they started in a couple weeks, I'm now saying – the Warriors are the favorite, but if I put a percentage on it, I'm going to say 63% Warriors. That's close. So
I would
you're
say
giving almost 60-40.
I would say 75-25. I still believe the Warriors, with their firepower, if they don't have another injury and they just play with the guys they have, I still think they can beat Houston.
I think they can.
Houston's not the same team to me that they were a year ago.
And a lot of people are saying you're right. A lot of people saying that, but they look. It's only one game. They look great.
They look
against
great.
Utah.
Absolutely.
And Harden is playing lights out basketball. Obviously, Chris Paul, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon. Their defense has stiffened up. So I'm just saying, look, and it's not just Houston. Milwaukee. Could they give the Warriors some problems? I know they're young. They're completely inexperienced as far as winning playoff series and going deep. But their length, if they're playing well and Golden State isn't, maybe they could do some damage. Like, it's more interesting, I think, than we foresaw. I know it's early in the playoffs, right?
I'm just not on that ship yet. I need to see more. I know people go back to, well, if Chris Paul wasn't hurt,
right?
Excuse me, they would have won. And all. I'm not even convinced of that. I know people say it, but I'm not convinced of that.
I feel you. I still would have picked Golden State.
I mean, I know a lot of people just automatically assumed it. Oh yeah, no, they would have won. I'm not there.
Right. But even so, they did play them really close. Whether they would have won or not, you got to give them that.
No, I give you that. But also, as we saw when they missed 27 straight threes, when you live by that three, if that thing abandons you like it did, it can cost you.
Are the Golden State Warriors more vulnerable than anyone expected? 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in. Let's start with Mark in Virginia. Mark, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
What's happening,
How you doing?
Hey, first I'd like to make one point about the champion, the Western Conference Finals last year. I'm tired of hearing about if Chris Paul played, they would have won. If you remember the games that they won early in the series, Chris Paul did play, but Iguodala did not play. If he played, the series might have been even over.
Absolutely.
In 5 or 6.
But nobody ever brings that up.
Say again?
Nobody ever brings that up.
I agree.
Nobody ever brings that up.
I think it's unfair, as Rob and I said, to say they would have won.
They would have won, right.
Now, to say you were impressed with the way they pushed them, and hey, if Chris doesn't get hurt, maybe they win that series, that's legit. But you're right. The Warriors deserve more credit than that.
But even if Iguodala would have played, it might have been over.
But he's not. As valuable as he is, he's not Chris Paul. And he's not as valuable as he is.
I know he's not Chris Paul, but he's still a vital part of their attack.
Right. But not as vital as Chris Paul is to Houston. All right.
Well, no, but Chris Paul hasn't done anything if you look back over his history, so I'm not scared of Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is a first ballot Hall of Famer, all right? Andre Iguodala is not. But Mark, we get your point, Mark. We get it.
All right, appreciate it. How about Rico in L.A.? You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Rico?
Hey, what's up, guys? Love the show, man.
Thank you.
Brother.
Appreciate you.
I got a basketball question, but quickly, I got to ask Rob. Rob, why are you so anti-paying players? You said you wouldn't pay
I'm not.
Russell Wilson. No.
Rico, keep it on back. He didn't say.
Pull that. Well,
Keep
Rico,
it
hold
on
on.
basketball though.
But Chris.
But Rob is actually pro playing players. He celebrated Machado, Bryce Harper, Mike
Antonio
Trout, Brown, Le'Veon Bell.
I'm not against paying players, so Rico,
Go
you
ahead
got
with
me
your
miscast.
basketball point, Rico.
Okay, look, I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to get. What do you guys think will happen to the core of the Warriors' legacy if they don't make it to the NBA Finals this year? What does that mean for their legacy moving forward?
Well, look, you're not going to be able to take away the fact that this team has won 3 of the last 4 championships and 2 straight, regardless of what happens. So their legacy is set. Now, if they don't win the championship, you won't hear people saying they could be the greatest team ever.
I think that they're already
one of the top teams of all time.
But that wagon about a lot of people, the way things have gone, you gave up a 3-1 lead in the finals, which no one had ever done, and then you just gave up 31 points.
Well,
I'm just saying, Chris,
if they win this championship,
I get it, but I'm just saying the dings, like as you go forward. Can you imagine a team that Michael Jordan played on gave up a 31-point advantage at home? I'm just saying.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, 31. I don't know that that's ever been,
no, because this is the first time in history.
Did he ever give up leads? Probably. But yeah, I feel you. Let's go to Daryl in Philadelphia. Daryl, you on with Chris and Rob?
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
Man, we're
great,
good,
man.
Daryl.
What's happening?
Good. I'm gonna keep it basketball. I actually called Russell because something's off there, but with the Warriors, whether they're vulnerable, they're more vulnerable to me because of how the East has gotten better.
Right.
Milwaukee and the other teams, they're going to do what they're going to do every year. They got too much talent. Beverly is a dog. I like him, but KD is going to make an adjustment. And quite honestly, I think Golden State's going to make an adjustment too, and do something with Lou, who I love. I love Lou Williams. So I don't think they're vulnerable in that they're going to lose.
I don't think they're
before
vulnerable in
lose.
this series. No, not in this series. And
Right.
look, and I still got them favored. I'm picking them to win it all, but there's no way they're losing to the Clippers. But look, Houston, that's going to be a dogfight. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be a dogfight, and I won't be shocked. I'll be surprised. I don't pick it, but I don't know that I'll be shocked if Houston beats them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. Jody in Atlanta, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jody?
Yo, how y'all doing today?
Man, what up?
What's up, legends? I'm just calling about the Warriors. Anyway, serious note, I really think that they're vulnerable to certain teams, like you said, the Rockets and probably OKC, or I don't want to say Portland, but probably OKC. They just really need to get their head in the game. I know they got all these all-stars and all these players that won so many times, but they just act like y'all was up 31 points.
Well, they were
31?
celebrating,
Yeah,
dancing,
that was
talking
Jody. Ridiculous.
Right.
31 points at your crib.
And they had
Imagine going to Oracle, sitting down, y'all up 31, and then y'all lose. That would break my heart. Even though we got 3 championships, that would still break my heart.
Oh,
I wasted
fans
all my
left
money
there.
on that.
Fans left there. They couldn't have been
Atlanta,
happy.
Jody, you definitely would take those championships. I know. You take those
Jody,
those conference finalists, right?
Jody,
Division titles.
I looked it up. Jody, I want you to Google my name and Atlanta worst sports town in America. Google
Rob
that.
Parker.
All right, Jody?
Are you
got you,
from
Rob.
Atlanta or you just live, because a lot of transplants there?
No, I'm from here, born and raised. You know how I am. I'm Hawks, Falcons, Braves, all the way.
That's all
Braves
right.
country,
We about to go, but y'all do got to pick it up as far as y'all sports.
You know that.
Hey, you know I know it.
what
I'm
saying?
praying
Y'all don't turn out
every night.
And you got a nice little something going on with the Hawks.
Yep.
Trae Young, maybe you get Zion in that top pick. All right.